Meantime, 24 hours after appointing him to a Senate, he's still figuring out when to have hearings on it. So Robert McDonald's still waiting, but not nearly as long as a lot of veterans have been waiting, and some have been dying at a rate of more than 20 a day. When Montel Williams says enough is enough, he is back. But first to our chat program in Washington, where I guess, Chad, they're still saying hurry up and wait. What's going on?
Yeah, Congress is out of session for the next week for the 4th of July recess, but that doesn't mean that there aren't talks going on behind the scenes. In fact, we're hearing very little about ways to put together this House bill and this Senate bill. They need to merge these, blend these together into a final legislative product and send it to the president's desk. The problem is the price tag. They're looking at a bill here that the House put together, that the Congressional Budget Office, the the official nonpartisan scorekeeper for Congress, scored at about $35 billion. This is unpaid for. And that has a lot of Republicans, especially conservatives and Tea Party loyalists, very, very concerned. They say, look, we think that this is important, but they don't want to put members of Congress in a tough position debating between should we help the veterans here or should we watch the bottom line? And that's what they're trying to resolve. And the less that we hear publicly about this, Neil, means that they're actually trying to get somewhere. Usually when they're not getting anywhere, that's where you start to hear the public yelling and brickbats thrown back and forth. That's the real problem. So watch for that in the next couple of weeks, and also the confirmation hearings of the new VA Secretary nominee. I'm told that could happen just before the next recess at the start of August.
Are you kidding me? So that he would likely not assume office until at least then, assuming he gets through the hearing process. And that's not to say he'll have any more expanded powers when he does.
And I was told just here in the past half hour, they were kind of looking at the Senate schedule, how long this would take. Well, they just nominated him on, nominated him on Sunday. The Senate's out this week. They would start to review his paperwork, his documents, maybe schedule a confirmation hearing for mid-July, then give a week of public comment and go to the Senate floor for debate, probably the last week of the month. So getting this done before the August recess is going to be a tight squeeze. They can get it done, but especially when people say this is a big confirmation, this is a big cabinet position, it's very high profile now, and they need to move this, and considering the crisis at the VA. So maybe put this on the rocket docket, as they say sometimes.
What is their version of a rocket docket? But Chad, we'll see.
Well, that's warp speed in the Senate.
Man, oh man, thank you, my friend Chad program. My buddy Montel Williams was listening to this as Chad was speaking and shaking his head. God knows.
Tick, tick, tick. You said it. 20 a day. I do not believe this. I'm not going to argue with the president, his choice. I'm going to argue that I think that we're going to see more than 30 days for this. This is the Congress and the Senate that believes that anything he does, they've got to make sure they drag out. So here goes another 90 days. Tick, tick, tick. 90 times 20, 180 soldiers have to die before they get off and do something. And why is it that every day I keep hearing the president, bold. I support him in this. You want to be bold and do something because nobody else is going to do it? He said, I'm stepping up to the plate. I'm going to use my executive privilege to take care of immigration. He's going to use
here's
his
one where you can
privilege.
put Republicans right on the spot. Say, all right, you don't like my executive orders. You're taking me to court over them. Here's one I dare you to fight me on. I'm going to put McDonald in there right now. I'm going to give him carte blanche power to do whatever the hell he wants. What are you going to do? I dare say no one's going to do anything if he did that.
I think he should. This is the one he should step up.
Why isn't he?
I don't know. He's not listening to me.
What would you do?
Exactly what you said. I'm not necessarily sure that McDonald's the best because I don't know anything about him. But let's just say that he's the best. I want to give him the authority when he walks in the door with what the president has asked Congress to do. Give him firing authority on day one.
He doesn't have that now. He doesn't have it now.
So what I'm doing with executive order, if you put me in office, I'm putting him in office today. I'm giving him executive privilege to be able to fire some people in there that we know were part of the scheme and scam to steal from Americans and veterans. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to order, like I keep saying, hashtag VA surge. Hashtag VA surge.
And what would that do again for those who didn't catch your other appearances?
What that'll do is that would immediately allow me to put money in place that's already been budgeted, bring on the staff we need to find out the bottom line. Look at this. They're talking about a budget of $35 billion. Are you kidding?
No, $35 billion more.
That's a lie.
Let me ask you this. I mean, we're talking about this is an agency that gets $158 billion a year.
Right.
I know it's hard to track this money, but it would seem with $158 billion a year, we could certainly do a better job taking care of our veterans. What happens?
I think, again, we go back to this problem. Remember I told you last time about that chicken? Here we go. You can cut the head off all you want. Middle management's got to go. We've got to change the system and turn it back into a system that supplies product to soldiers. So logistically, we have to get the services to the soldiers. That has to happen today. And unfortunately, we're not thinking that way. Right now, we got to figure out it's going to take Congress and Senate. Let's sit down and pass a bill. 38 million, we don't even know what the bottom line is. 38 million may not touch it. Neil, truthfully, remember, you got soldiers who haven't seen doctors for 4 years. Some of them left off the list.
My theory on this one, and you know this agency far better than I, that there's plenty of money there. It's not being spent on the right purpose or for the right folks. So that begs an issue then. If money isn't the issue, what is? If it's just incompetence, giving more money would just reward that incompetence then, right?
Correct. But if we can give the leadership, put McDonnell in place, give him the authority to get rid of people and restructure this system.
Don't you think he would have made that deal, Mr. President? I'll do this. I mean, if the president gave you that power, now that would be interesting. That if the president would say, Montel, I'm going to give you the power to take over the VA, I'm sure you would say, Mr. President, you have to give me carte blanche power to do what I want. I would think that McDonnell, I know a little bit about him from his CO days. He does know how to extract things out of his people. He would have had to have gotten that.
If the president would give me that or give him that, today we could start fixing this problem. It's just like, now let me tell you, I've been talking to you about something for 4 years now. 4.5 years ago, 4 years ago, I started in a double-blind study at the University of Wisconsin with a medical device that I told you 4 years ago that was helping me with MS. And as I continue to use this over the course of the last 4 years, I'm telling you, I ran all over the place trying to see if I could get support. Well, guess what? I signed a CRADA with the federal government last year, a collaborative research and development agreement. I just took this company public with the help of some people last week. I'm going to work really hard to get technology into the hands of soldiers, hopefully, that will help them the way it's helped me.
Good for you.
But this is something that I beat the bushes, beat the bushes, beat the bushes, beat the bushes. I got it done. Mr. McDonnell could do the same thing. These are people who would do people.
It's doable. It's definitely doable. By the way, and Montel has MS, I have MS, I disclose that. I try not to with Montel because he's so much more with it and energetic than I.
But I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
I want to draw sympathy for me, and you're not helping me. So let me step back for this, Montel, and just talk about Washington. To me, just seems broken. And if Washington doesn't sense the urgency of this, I'm beginning to think that maybe the VA is the problem. The bureaucrats running it, that's the problem. Maybe we don't need a VA. Then what do we do?
No, we have to have a VA.
You do.
We have to have a system where soldiers can at least work with soldiers to help.
Why not put them to the front of the line at regular hospitals?
Because I don't think you have you don't have right now the skill set at a regular hospital to deal with the multiple different types of injuries and issues that our soldiers deal with.
So there's something unique to them coming back from battle that a general hospital would not be aware of.
Right, but if you add the two together, we can make this happen. So there is a way, like I said in my surge, I want to triage, find out who needs help. Those that can be sent to a civilian hospital for
what would you do, though? I mean, you had mentioned something last time, I think, about a pecking order of 3 rated injuries, right? Or those who most need the care get a certain level of care, right?
No, I don't want to change the level of care. I want to be able to take and move these people.
But let's say you are in urgent need of getting attention now.
Immediately to Walter Reed or one of the chronic centers, if I'm a soldier. If I'm a guy who's not in urgent need, let's say I need dialysis, and I don't suffer from PTSD, I can go to the local hospital, move them up to the top of the line. I got a person.
So prioritize.
Prioritize and help them where we can, but those who need help from soldiers, we should put them in a place to do so. And I'm also say one more thing, Neil. Listen, I don't get it. They're never going to listen to me. I'm one of these loose cannons. People don't like Montel Williams because, you know, they don't have a control over me.
Well, I don't know. Right? You haven't seen the emails you generate.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you from the administrative standpoint, I'm one of those guys that nobody has control over.
Well, by the way, you're all right there because Democrats and Republicans seem to hate you.
Correct. They do, equally. Now, right. But there are other people out here that are working with veterans just like myself who are veterans, who can help you understand this. If you're not going to reach out to me just because you don't like my politics, reach out to those people who understand. I was told this past week that, again, remember in my surge petition originally, I suggested Ken Fisher.
Yes, yes.
And I still suggest that in case Mr. McDonnell doesn't make it through the process.
He'll make it through.
He will. Okay, so he makes it through. But he should be reaching out to people like logisticians, like Admiral Straw, who can help them get the services into the hands.
So does it bug you that in this case, McDonnell, he is a West Point graduate and served in the military the first 5 years when he got out? But not recent. A lot of present-day Iraqi, Afghan veterans say he doesn't relate to them. You say, does that matter?
I say that he wore the uniform and he probably never took it off. So I trust him and his ability. But again, I can chop his head off and the organization still exists. We need to fix that middle management group, give them the authority to fire. The presidents asked Congress before they left to do this, and they took off with their little tails between their legs and ran away. Congress
You're right about that.
Now they're going to come back and they're going to stretch this out for another month or 2 months.
One thing about you, you're very passionate, Montel,
Yes, sir.
and I always think that I don't see that in John Boehner. I certainly don't see it in the president. Now, a lot of people who look at the president say, well, there's a method to being no drama, Obama. But some situations, I think, call for drama on everybody's part.
I got a drama for you. For those who don't like me right now in the political world, wait till November and find out what I do with the soldiers across this country who are feeling neglected right now.
Who are they going to take it out on?
Well, how about take it out on anybody who has not done something to correct it today?
What if in November it's still as bad as it is now?
Then I'm going to beg for every soldier and veteran to start a new party in America called the Veterans Party, those who made this country possible, and beg for others to support. And until we get a bill that comprehensively pays the debt for the fact that we are free to talk, then I don't think any one of them in office deserves to be there. And I'll fight whoever's not going to back our voice.
You know, I know
That's
you
my
visit.
plan.
I know you
When
visit
I say
these
something,
guys.
you know I'm gonna do it.
Believe me, I know that. But I know you go to visit these guys and
I fed
these women.
350 last Thursday.
What's their mood like when they see what's going on? And do they feel like, hey, wait a minute?
I was at the Fisher House last Thursday in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. My sister and myself and my chef, we fed 270 of them face to face, and we fed 40 people from the psych ward that came over, and we fed another 40. What are they saying to me? Montel, please don't let up. No one else is talking. Isn't that sad? I don't know why I'm the only big mouth right now doing this, but we need more big mouths because those guys are feeling left behind. Every day that goes by, when they hear somebody like you or I say 22 died and no one does anything, how would you feel?
You're right.
So that's why I'm here. I'm not going to stop. You can think I'm going to go away as long as you give me a voice every couple days. You know, I'll just come back here to you. Because guess what? I can't get on ABC, NBC, CBS. They won't talk to me on a morning show, afternoon show. Nobody. Why?
I don't believe that. Really?
My friend, not one of them will give me a place to discuss this. They can talk all the trash they want about how they support the church. And even if they don't talk about me, bring somebody else on. But start talking about this, because this doesn't make for frilly morning TV. It doesn't make for interesting blood on the blood on the streets of America kind of stuff that we lead the evening news with. We should be leading the evening news with the guys who have already paid this price every single day until we fix it.
You're a good man, Montel.
Thank you, sir.
Everything you say is right. We'll have more after this.